The movie begins with Jamie at home, adding the final touch to the Christmas tree. Meanwhile, Emily is at her place, hurriedly packing for an early flight scheduled for the next day. While on call, Susie, her friend and colleague, suggests she's traveling too much. But Emily doesn't think so. At Launch Bay Marketing, Daryl informs Emily that she needs to work on a project in Fulton, Illinois, which puts a damper on her vacation plans. As CEO, Daryl argues that she's the best creative director for the job since Jerry, the original person assigned, bailed. To persuade her, he sweetens the deal by offering her Jerry's office as a promotion, convincing Emily to take on the task. Meanwhile, Jamie gets a call at work from his mom, Diane, asking what time he'll be arriving in Fulton and whether Emily is coming with him, as she hasn't been home for Christmas yet. Apparently, Jamie and Emily were once in a relationship, but broke up, and Jamie hasn't told his family yet. Governor Hayward is frustrated with her declining poll numbers and pushes her team to improve. Jamie is selected to write her Christmas Day campaign speech, and the governor warns him not to disappoint her. After the meeting, Jamie meets with Gina, the team manager, unsure of how to tackle the task since his initial draft flopped. Gina reassures him, saying this is his chance to make a real impact, just like he's always wanted. Arriving in Fulton, Jamie's sister Becca picks him up at the train station and is shocked to see Emily with him, as she thought they'd broken up, given how Jamie had been dodging questions about her. Becca quickly grabs her bag and heads to the car. Emily, there for work, is surprised Jamie hasn't told his family they're no longer together. They arrive home, and the family is thrilled to see Emily, including Becca's son Scotty. But when Emily mentions she's not staying, their disappointed reactions make her quickly backtrack, saying she can't stay for the Christmas tree decoration due to a meeting. Tom, Jamie's dad, is confused about why there'd be a meeting on a Saturday, while Diane insists she stay for just a snack. Over snacks, Emily shares details about her work project. The Fulton City Planning Commission is launching a multi-seasonal marketing campaign on Christmas Day to attract new residents. Everyone, including Jamie, is excited for her. Tom, however, is puzzled that he didn't know this, considering he's her boyfriend. Emily quickly covers, saying she mentioned it on the train. The mood shifts when Diane starts hinting at marriage and babies, making Emily rush off to leave. As Jamie drives her to her hotel, Emily vents her frustration about Jamie lying to his family for 2 months. Jamie explains he didn't want to upset them after his granddad passed and hoped for a peaceful Christmas. Calming down, Emily urges him to tell them that night. Before entering the hotel, Jamie sits in his car, rehearsing how to tell his family the truth, but keeps stumbling over his words when Emily calls. She explains that her hotel was originally booked in Jerry's name, and since only the booker can change it, she's stuck. Unable to reach anyone at the office, she needs a place to stay for the night. They agree to keep up their fake relationship for one more night. Back home, the family gathers for their secret Santa draw, and Jamie's grandmother, Estelle, joins in, greeting Emily. Emily suggests sitting out, but they convince her to draw a name. Jamie then leads Emily to his room, and before he heads to the basement, she reminds him to be up early so she won't be bombarded with questions from his family without him. The next morning, Emily tries to sneak out with her bags, but stops when she sees Tom already up, cooking breakfast. The rest of the family soon joins in, pulling Emily into their morning shenanigans. So much for avoiding them. Meanwhile, Jamie, still groggy from a sleeping pill, is snoring away in the basement. As Emily helps with the tree, she's bombarded with questions about work and almost slips when Tom casually mentions the diving trip she took instead of coming to Becca's birthday. Heading to the basement, Emily wakes Jamie with a glass of water to the face and vents about all she's had to deal with from his family since waking up. She tells him to get dressed and take her to her hotel, as her camera crew will arrive in 2 hours. Though disoriented, Jamie agrees. When he finally emerges, Emily and the rest of the family are outside putting up Christmas decorations. Just then, Emily gets a call from Jackie, her camera crew, informing her they can't make it due to a snowstorm. Later, Emily decides she'll have to inform her company that the project is over, as there's no one to help with the shots. Jamie suggests she handle it herself, with Becca helping to shoot the pictures, but Emily doubts it'll work without a spokesperson, meaning no campaign. Jamie continues to push Emily to go along with his plan, offering to get the governor of Illinois on board. At first, Emily doesn't believe him, but is surprised and pleased when she learns Jamie actually works with her. However, there's a catch. Jamie wants Emily to stay for a week and maintain their fake relationship until Christmas is over. Emily thinks it's a terrible idea, but agrees anyway. At the Christmas tree lighting festival, Emily and Becca take pictures of the event with help from the family, while Jamie gets roped into singing karaoke. Emily captures the fun, and it's a joyful, lively moment with everyone. Later, as Emily and Jamie reminisce about the first time they met, Tom and Diane slyly hang a mistletoe above them, urging them to kiss. They eventually lean in, and the kiss feels magical, reigniting a romantic connection between them. Back at home, Jamie struggles with a creative block while working on the speech. The next day, Emily is excited that the governor is still on board with the project, though she doesn't know Jamie has no clear plan on how to make it work. As soon as Emily leaves, Jamie calls Gina and asks if she mentioned his idea of having the speech filmed in Fulton, but Gina points out it's a tough sell, as the governor will have to travel on Christmas morning for it. Jamie urges her to keep trying to convince the governor. Meanwhile, Emily informs the Fulton City Planning Commission that the governor will be live in Fulton, which will make big news for the campaign. Things are definitely getting complicated. Later that evening, Becca notices something's bothering Jamie and asks what's on his mind, but he deflects, turning the conversation to her love life. Becca, a single mom who works part-time at an art gallery and lives with her parents, admits there's not much happening in that department. Back home, the family gathers for Christmas charades, enjoying themselves, when Emily accidentally mentions her failed trip to Hawaii on Christmas Day. The family is surprised, and Jamie quickly covers, claiming they chose to spend Christmas with family instead. Later, Becca senses something's off between Jamie and Emily and urges him to open up. Jamie finally admits the truth about their breakup. Becca is surprised and asks why they split. Jamie explains that Emily is an amazing person with a promising career, and he didn't want to hold her back, so he let her go. He asks Becca to keep it a secret until he tells the family after Emily leaves. Though Becca thinks he's wrong to let her go, she agrees to stay quiet. The next morning, Jamie is still struggling with the speech, and Emily tells him she's heading to town to get inspiration for her shoot. He offers to join her, and they have a great time touring the town, enjoying each other's company as if they never broke up. Meanwhile, back home, Tom and Diane jump to a wild conclusion, thinking Jamie is planning to propose to Emily on Christmas Day. While out in town, Emily and Jamie catch up on their work, and she reflects on how they grew apart. Later that evening, Jamie takes her to the fountain and shares the local tradition. Newlyweds place rocks with their initials into the water to symbolize the start of their love story. Inspired by the story, Emily comes up with an amazing idea for the campaign. Excited, she ends up in Jamie's arms, and they share a tender romantic moment, slow dancing under the night sky. The next day, while shopping, Emily suggests some thoughtful gifts for his parents. Just then, Gina calls with the good news. The governor is on board with doing the Christmas Day address in Fulton, and Jamie is overjoyed. Later, Becca convinces Jamie and Emily to participate in a play at the art gallery, although they only agree when she threatens to spill the beans about their relationship. But hey, a win is a win. Jamie and Becca head to the train station to pick up Gina, and it seems love might actually be in the cards for Becca after all. At dinner with the family at a restaurant, they run into a server who knows about their relationship, thanks to Emily, who overshared when they went out. Jamie tries to deflect, with Emily, Becca, and Gina jumping in to help when the server nearly spills their secret. Later, Gina and Becca take a walk, getting to know each other better, while Jamie and Emily share a joyful moment strolling down the street. Jamie apologizes for how he ended things with Emily and encourages her to make a wish when they spot a shooting star in the sky. The next day, Jamie is happy for Becca, who has a date with Gina, while Tom and Diane share a joyful dance in each other's arms, surrounded by love. Later, frustrated by his inability to write the speech, Jamie opens up to Estelle. He admits that he often faces a block when something important is at stake, and this speech is crucial for his career. Estelle comforts him, advising him to find love in the messiness of life, reminding him that not everything has to be perfect and that he has a family who loves him. Meanwhile, Emily shares her campaign idea with colleagues Rissa and Danny, who love it. Then she gets a call from Daryl, confirming a trip to the Cayman Islands for a project starting January. Excited but conflicted, she tells Susie about her mixed feelings, especially since she's been reconnecting with Jamie. Back home, the family gathers to exchange gifts, and Emily feels grateful for the love, as she's always wanted to be part of a big family. Later, as Jamie watches her take pictures with her team, he realizes he's still in love with her. Becca encourages him to tell her after the show, but his mood changes when he overhears Danny congratulating Emily on her upcoming trip to the Cayman Islands. Before heading on stage, Jamie tells Emily she'll need to take a cab to the train station the next day so he can break the news to his family. Emily is confused by his sudden shift in behavior. Things take a turn during the show when Emily accidentally trips, sending confetti flying all over Jamie. She apologizes later, but Jamie mistakenly thinks she did it to get back at him. Emily, hurt by his outburst, feels like a fool for thinking Jamie shared her growing feelings. Jamie is taken aback, especially since he overheard Danny mention Emily's trip to the Cayman Islands. Emily, frustrated by his mixed signals, urges him to be clear about what he really wants. At a loss for words, Jamie doesn't know how to respond, and Emily tells him she'll be staying in a hotel for the night, Before leaving, Jamie asks what he should tell his family, and Emily urges him to tell them the truth, because she's done with the lies. She points out that they've been pretending to fall in love, but Jamie never saw that she never stopped loving him. Unbeknownst to them, the family overhears everything. Guess the cat's finally out of the bag. Jamie still hasn't come up with a speech, and Gina is disappointed when she finds out. The next day, Emily apologizes for the lies and leaves the house, leaving the family sad to see her go. Meanwhile, Jamie feels lost and empty in Becca's shed, and she tries to comfort him. He's afraid the relationship won't be perfect, so he'd rather let her go. Becca disagrees, telling him he shouldn't worry about perfection, but focus on living in the moment and following his dreams. Later, Jamie finally finds inspiration and starts writing the speech, feeling a sense of relief as he sends it off to Gina. On Christmas morning, Jamie joins his family for gift exchange, trying to lift their spirits, but everyone feels off without Emily, who has become a part of them. This realization hits Jamie, and he tells the family to get dressed, as they're going to get Emily back. They excitedly drive to the campaign site, only for Jamie to learn from Gina that the governor canceled due to a family emergency and would be doing the address in Springfield instead. Emily, having already left for the train station, is now on her way out of town. Jamie quickly informs his family, and they rush to the station to catch her before she leaves. At the station, Emily watches the governor's Christmas Day address, where Governor Hayward includes Fulton in her speech, highlighting the importance of family and love. The heartwarming words capture everyone's attention, bringing a smile to Emily's face. As the speech ends, she spots Jamie, who surprises her by confessing his feelings and asking her to stay with him. Emily, who has already turned down the Cayman Islands job, reveals she feels the same way about him. The moment leads to a romantic, heartfelt kiss, rekindling their love. The family witnessing this joyfully wraps them in a big bear hug. And guess what? The waiter finally learns they're back together as they share a deep, passionate kiss in the restaurant.